Sea of Monsters, Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters, Chapter 13. Hopefully, this is not 35 minutes like Chapter 12. Annabeth tries to swim home. I'd finally found something I was good at. The Queen Anne's Revenge responded to my every command. I knew which ropes to hoist, which sails to raise, which direction to steer. We plowed through the waves at what I figured was about 10 knots. I even understood how fast that was. For a sailing ship, pretty darn fast. It all felt perfect. The wind in my face, the waves breaking over the prow. But now that we were out of danger, all I could think about was how much I missed Tyson and how worried I was about Grover. I couldn't get over how badly I messed up on Cersei's Island. If it hadn't been for Annabeth, I'd still be a rodent hiding in a hutch with a bunch of cute furry pirates. I thought about what Cersei had said. See, Percy, you've unlocked your true self. I still felt change, not just because I had a sudden desire to eat lettuce. I felt jumpy, like the instincts to be a scared little animal were now a part of me, was now a part of me, or maybe it always had always been there. That's what really worried me. We sailed through the nights. I hope this is a short chapter. Emma tried to keep lookout, but sailing didn't agree with her. After a few hours rocking back and forth, her face turned the color of guacamole and she went below to lie in a hammock. I watched the horizon. More than once I spotted monsters. A plume of water as tall as a skyscraper spewed into the moonlight. A row of green spines slithered across the waves, something maybe 100 feet long. Reptilia. Excuse me, I didn't really want to know. Once I saw Nereids, the glowing lady spirits of the sea. I tried to wave at them, but they disappeared into the depths, leaving me unsure whether they'd see me or not. Sometime after midnight, Annabeth came up on deck. We were just passing a smoking volcano island. The sea bubbled and steamed around the shore. One of the forges of Hephaestus, Annabeth said, where he makes his metal monsters, like the bronze bulls. She nodded. Go around, far around. I didn't need to be told twice. We steered clear of the island, and soon it was just a red patch of haze behind us. I looked at Annabeth. The reason you hate Cyclopses so much? The story about how Talia really died. What happened? It was hard to see your expression in the dark. I guess you deserve to know, she said finally. The night Grover was escorting us to camp, he got confused, took some wrong turns. You remember he told you that once? I nodded. Well, the worst wrong turn was into a Cyclops' lair in Brooklyn. They've got Cyclopses in Brooklyn, I asked. You wouldn't believe how many, but that's not the point. This Cyclops, he tricked us. He managed to split us up inside the maze of corridors in an old close house in Flatbush, and he could sound like anyone, Percy. Just the just the way Tyson did aboard the Princess Andromeda. He lured us one at a time. Talia thought she was running to save Luke. Luke thought he heard me scream for help. And me, I was alone in the dark. I was 7 years old. I couldn't even find the exit. She brushed the hair out of her face. I remember finding the main room. There were bones all over the floor, and there were Talia and Luke and Grover, tied up and gagged, hanging from the ceiling like smoked hams. The Cyclops was starting a fire in the middle of the floor. I drew my knife, but he heard me. He turned and smiled. He spoke, and somehow he knew my dad's voice. I guess he just plucked it out of my mind. He said, Now, Annabeth, don't you worry. I love you. You can stay here with me. You can stay forever. I shivered the way she told it. Even now, 6 years later, freaked me out worse than any ghost story I'd ever heard. What did you do? I stabbed him in the foot. I stared at her. Are you kidding? You were 7 years old and you stabbed your own Cyclops in the foot? Or he would have killed me, but I surprised him. All right, I'm going to leave off there because let's run off.